All right, my gallbladder was just taken out. They didn't really give me an option because the gallstones had massed together and caused a blockage. What do I eat going forward? First of all, in that situation, I understand getting your, look, they pluck them like apples. They pluck gallbladders out of people like apples off a tree. And a lot of times, people's gallbladders, they get, right here, you see this gallbladder right here, this green gallbladder? They get so packed and so filled with sand, grit, byproduct, discharge, that it turns into like a cake mud in a mud flat on a beach, right? So, and they can't, eventually makes it so, when the, when the bile comes up the chute, it hits that gallbladder and it's like, boom, it's just like, it's ricocheting off that pile of mud that got into the gallbladder. And if you can't clear it out and didn't get to it in time and couldn't do anything about it, it might have to come out, and yours came out. So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. They don't really give you proper protocols after you have a gallbladder surgery. I see this out there. I've seen it my whole life. I've watched this. It's common fare for the medical industry to never give guidance post gallbladder surgery. Most of the time, people get their gallbladders taken out and they lay in the hospital bed in absolute agony. Just agony. And there's no like, what do you eat? Whatever. I mean, there's really not much of that. So what do you do on the future? To begin with, you're going to have to get used to the ejection of bile dropping into your gut. So keep that in mind. And that's going to be an experience you haven't experienced before in your life. You haven't been there. It hasn't happened. This is your first time this has ever happened because it only can happen once. And when it does, you're not used to that bile dripping, the bile drip. The bile drip can be agonizing at first. It burns. It hurts. The suture still hurts. Regardless of what they used or what they did to get rid of your gallbladder, to pull it out, it all still hurts. And then there's a space now. The space alone causes nausea, digestive disruption, pain, emotional, mental sorrow, because there's now something missing. So there's an empty space. Physical pain happens more because of that empty space. A lot of people would say, do castor oil packs, castor oil packs, that's the answer. I don't think that's the answer. What I would say, really, a moist, hot cloth, getting a tea kettle. I don't have one in front of me right now, but that's okay. Or maybe I got one back here. Maybe an electric one or something if you want, and having hot water in there. And then what you're doing is, I know you asked me about foods and all that, but before we even go into foods, gallbladder information is very important either way, because somebody might be getting theirs out next week. So here we go. So what you're doing is you're dropping really hot water without burning your hand off. You're dropping really hot water right on this cloth here. And you don't want to burn your skin. Still want to wait a little bit. By the way, this technique's great for gastritis, gastric cramps, gastric pain, all kinds of different stuff like that. Food poisoning, this is really important right here. This is very hot, steamy water in here, okay? And you can even fold the towel over and do this, and it's going to be really hot, right? So I'm just showing you right here how it works. And then you can place it. And here's what happens with gallbladder surgeries. You may not even hurt where the gallbladder was removed. Now you're just in agony everywhere. Like everywhere you're in agony all over the place. So just keep that in mind. And here's what you do. You're placing it, placing it here and you're keeping it there. You know, you're placing it in spots. You'll get pain everywhere when you get the gallbladder removed. I like this better than castor oil packs. I think they're overhyped, overrated for a million and one reasons. It's been an old staple, but keep in mind, castor oil was easier to get in the very old days versus hot clean water. Hot clean water and clean towels was much harder to get 100 years ago. I can promise you that. Believe it or not, than castor oil. So rubbing castor oil on the body for any reason and so forth, it was much easier. But I'm just telling you right now, and if you like castor oil, fine, just use it and it's fine. I'm not saying don't. I like actually doing olive oil better than castor oil. So I like that even better. You can do, if you say, well, I got to do the castor oil, it's the only thing I like, try olive oil. But do a moist, hot cloth. Then put some olive oil on there. And then do it. Okay? Like this. I'm just saying. In bed, the whole bit. And then after a little while, maybe have another one ready. And you can flip, you can pour it in and have the other one ready. That's very important for post gallbladder surgery, gallbladder problems, gallbladder pain, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, but the key is you want to keep fats out if you just had a gallbladder surgery. You don't want to be bombarding your system with animal protein fat because you're thinking it's animal protein, but it's all fat because it's fat. You don't want to be drinking glasses of milk. You don't want to be eating cheese if you just had your gallbladder removed. Ask your doctor what's right for you. I'm just saying, okay? This is what I would do if I had my gallbladder. I had my gallbladder. If I didn't have my gallbladder, whatever, be a different story. But I got mine. And what I'm saying is, if I had to get mine out, this is what I would do. No milk, no cheese, no dairy, no eggs, no meat. It's all fat. I don't care what anybody says. The leanest cut, still fat. And you get all this stuff. I would keep all of that out while you're recovering. And I would be doing like bananas. Yes, bananas. Steam, fluffy, russet potatoes. Steamed, fluffy, red potatoes. Not sweet potatoes. I mean, you can do sweet potatoes. You can do like, Japanese sweet potatoes and so forth. But I'm talking about like just russets. Just maybe even without the skin. You're recovering from surgery and you just get this steamed russet potato. Move the skin aside. Just eat the potato inside. Nice and warm, nice and comforting. Don't put cottage cheese on there and weird stuff and yogurt and whatever else. Don't do any of that. Don't do the dairy. And then you're just doing plain old potato and you're doing that. And then you're doing things like bananas, steamed potato, a little bit of winter squash. All these are good. I'm just giving you kind of some options right there. A little bit of honey. Honey on your food is okay for that too. And but I would honestly make sure you get life-changing foods, expand it, get that. I mean, I talk about gallbladders. It's in different foods and stuff like that. You'll see. Look into that too. Even if your gallbladder is removed, it's important. But you don't want to be bombarding your liver with so much fat because what's going to happen is your liver is going to produce so much bile that it's going to want to burn a hole through your brand new spot where it's dripping. The brand new spot where it's dripping, okay? Brand new spot. That brand new drip of your bile. And you're going to be hurting. You keep on, you eat all the fats after a gallbladder surgery, and you're not used to that drip. What's going to happen is your liver's going to be like, get ready. It's going to be like, get ready because you just had a glass of milk, which is fat, and we're going to produce a whole bunch of bile, and that bile is going to rip up, and it's going to head up there to that chute, and it's going to drip right in that gut, and you're going to be like, ow. What am I doing? You're not even going to know. Keep the fats away.